I spent the last week building this DIY scissor blind for my duck boat here. Filmed the whole thing, spent close to $300 on materials. I took it out for its maiden voyage, and spoiler alert, it sucks. I'm gonna show you what I did wrong in hopes that maybe I can save you $1 or $2, and maybe I can save you from the heartache I have of having $300 worth of busted pipe. Most all of your DIY duck blinds, especially for boats, you're gonna see on YouTube and the internet, are gonna be made out of this stuff. This is EMT conduit, which is short for electrical metallic tubing. EMT. This is designed to have wires inside it. It's not designed to be structural. It was never intended to go 75 miles an hour. In short, EMT conduit is the wrong material, but it's cheap, it's readily available, and it's not PVC pipe. After one whole hour of R&D, mostly watching YouTube videos and a little scrolling on the internet, the consensus was use 1/2" EMT. 3/4 or 1" are too heavy, too expensive. And why would you want a heavy duck blind? Lighter is shallower and shallower is better. Maybe faster? This was my first mistake. See, 1/2" EMT, pretty easy to bend. Now this is just maybe around 2 feet. Imagine what happens when you put 12 feet of this together and just look at it wrong. It bends. It's no good. That was the main problem, but the second problem has to do with the scissor design and how soft that tubing is to begin with. Remember how I was showing you just 1 second ago how easy this was to bend? And how it bends even easier if it's longer? Imagine if there was a hole drilled in the middle of it. Like, I don't know, that one right there. All it takes is a little bit of pressure out here, and there goes your blind. You can bend it back, but it's only going to do that so many times before it work hardens and breaks. That's a problem. If you're going to do this style of blind, I'd recommend at least 1", at least on the X brace. I haven't built one out of 1", so it may also suck, but 1/2" is not it, especially with a 1/4" pin through it. Beyond that, you'll notice that there's nothing attached here, and there's nothing attached here. I've only got to use this one time. $300, one-time use. And what happens while going about 75 miles down the interstate? This experience, what I could only describe as rapid disassembly. When the 90-degree elbows decided they no longer wanted to do their job, they came apart. And that's, you're gonna get a general theme here of none of this was ever designed to do what we're asking of it. Expectations. You gotta have realistic expectations that, you know, we were never meant to be here in the first place. Luckily, we caught it in time, and we were able to save this piece before it flew off, but it was quite literally only being held on by zip ties at that point. The reason for that is these elbow brackets I used on this 1/2" EMT conduit are made out of pot metal. They're designed to connect 2 pieces of pipe together and never move. They're not designed for structure. They're not designed for speed. They're just designed to connect 2 pipes. And how they connect 2 pipes is only 1 screw. And I really thought I would be correct in this, that one of the weakest links of this blind as I was building it would be that one little screw on these brackets. What I didn't figure is that these brackets would snap in half. So here I am once again at Lowe's buying 4 more of these elbows that will eventually probably meet the same fate as the last 4. Spend another $28 on these fittings, $30 once I pay for tax. But I got 3 weeks of duck season left, so gotta do what I gotta do. But I wanted to show you guys the difference between 1/2", 3/4, and 1" as far as how much the pipe deflects. In front of me, I have a piece of 1/2, a piece of 3/4, and a piece of 1" EMT conduit. See, I'm trying to apply the same pressure. A lot of deflection there. About half as much deflection when you go up to 3/4, and almost no deflection at 1". However, 1", roughly twice the weight of 1/2". I think 3/4 might be your huckleberry. Another thing, 1/2 inch is about $7 a foot. 3/4 is about $12 a foot. And then 1 inch, which you shouldn't use, is about $20 a foot. In other words, you're gonna spend more money on 3/4 of an inch, and you may be getting close to the point where it actually makes sense to just buy a blind. If you spend $500 on a homemade blind, but you could spend $700 or $800 on a professionally built pre-made blind kit, you're probably better off spending a couple $100 more and getting exactly what you need. So here we are. We still have a blind. I think I don't know, it needs some love. It needs some more burlap to cover the shooting hole a little bit more and to cover the ends, but that's all stuff that can be worked around. The bigger problem I have with the blind I built in particular, and maybe just stepping up to 3/4 inch conduit would fix this, is it's too fragile. For what I paid, I don't trust it to stand up to the demands or an hour-long trip to the lake. Honestly, the layout of it works great. If I could do it again, obviously there's a lot of things I'd do different. I'd at least step up to 3/4 inch conduit, and it honestly needs some support here and over there. And there's a lot of little details when you're doing things yourself and you're creating this. Like my first version of this, I had the X-brace much wider at the base, and it didn't work. So I had to kind of change the engineering a little bit to make it work. And at the end of the day, I had a lot of time in this, and for the amount of time and money I've invested in this blind, I'm not happy with it.